Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today in this video, I'm going to highlight 4 solid ways of transporting your motorcycle. Whether you're going to do track days or you're going to go off-roading or going across the country and riding Moab or whatever your desire. These are my favorite ways of trailering motorcycles. Let's get started. The motorcycle carrier. You can buy these and they're rated up to 1,000 pounds. This one is rated up to 600 pounds. That means that you can carry sport bikes, dual sports, anything up to that. You're also going to need a different hitch. It's a class 3 or 4. So you basically need a pickup truck. Before loading the bike on here, I'm going to go ahead and put my straps. So you're going to turn on the bike. Generally, you don't need to do this, but on this bike, there we go. I'm just going to turn it off. This motor carrier is great. On a lot of bikes, you have to pre-plan, otherwise you're going to be ruining your bike. And if it falls, it's going to have quite a bit of damage. But the motor carrier does not require inspection, does not require registration. It's easy to store. And the downside, of course, is trucks are higher up. So that makes it much more difficult, especially with the more the bike weighs, you're going to have more issues. This particular one is nice because it does have hooks in the rear and in the front, so you can strap it down pretty well. So with the hitch-mounted motorcycle carrier, the pros are you basically need no registration or extra gear needed. It keeps your truck bed open so you can put various gears. If you're going to go off-roading, you can just put your gear in the bed and you have plenty of space. It's compact and really easy to store. It doesn't weigh a lot. You can put it vertically, horizontally, and a lot of these are lightweight because they're made out of aluminum. They're great for bikes that are 600 to 700 pounds. They do make carriers that are hydraulic and go all the way down to the floor and then come all the way up. But those tend to be much more expensive than the one I have. Some of the cons are you need a class 3 or 4 hitch. So you can't take it on a Toyota Camry or Prius. That limits you to having a larger truck. Lifting the bike is also a chore, especially for trucks like this Ford F-350 that's high off the ground. It's a 4-wheel drive truck. Anytime you have something that high, it's much more difficult to get the bike up there. And when you're moving, it bounces more than a trailer and it's less stable. And it also blocks the taillights if not positioned perfect. On this, I can see that my rear brake light is not visible. You could get a brake light mounted on the actual hitch carrier if that is an issue. This is my go-to for dual sports and light street bikes, but you just got to know that your truck's hitch weight limit before committing to this type of carrier. This one is actually a pretty darn good one because it's got the mount points further out. That way you can get more leverage. And even in the rear, you have a bar with a hook. So you can hook the rear part of your bike for maximum stability. On this, it's pretty important that you hook the rear. I didn't do it on video because if you hit something big, the wheel could actually pop out of the carrier. So you want to make sure that there's weight on that ramp and it's not going to move around on you. Pretty easy to unload once you get a hang of it. One of the nice things about this particular ramp is this carrier has these little holes here and you just drop your loading ramp onto here. That way you don't have to keep it in the bed of your truck. That's more important if you have an SUV without the ability of putting it inside. So even though this thing is pretty heavy, it is a nice way of storing it, especially if you don't have a lot of room in your house. Just put it like that and you're ready to go. Now this is a more unconventional way of trailering or taking your motorcycle somewhere. This is definitely one of those very controversial things, but I want to show you what it is. It's a front wheel carrier. That means that when this is hooked up, your rear wheel drags on the ground. I've only trailered one bike, and that was my V-Strom 650. So a lot of chain-driven bikes are good, but this is not good for shaft-driven bikes unless you remove the shaft, you disconnect it. There's also going to be wear on your rear tire. Let me show you what this looks like. That's where your front wheel will go. But the beauty of this is that it completely doesn't take up space. You can put it in the rear of your car or truck. I'm going to put this on this Ford F350, and you're just going to roll this on here. Now, one of the bad things about this particular one, they do make hydraulic versions, but this one, it's very inexpensive, and I did have this welded on here, this bar, because there's no support for actually strapping your bike. Now, my Prius does use a different method of... Remember, this method does not work too well for non-chain bikes. And you have to make sure that it works properly with your bike. So that's the front wheel on there. And notice it's pretty low to the ground, but that's what we want. Now I'm going to take my strap. So there you go, guys. That's the front wheel hitch carrier. It's not the best, but it will work, even for long hauling. One thing that people do is they will remove the chain. You can break a link, remove the chain, or remove it from the rear sprocket and then tie it really strongly to the swing arm. And I've heard of people taking bikes across the country using this method. It works pretty well, except it's a little bit on the messier side. It's an underdog. It's a front wheel carrier. It locks the front wheel in and lets your rear wheel roll behind your vehicle. Some of the pros are, you don't need any registration. You don't need a trailer. This thing is so small you can put it in the back of your car. It's very compact. It's very easy to store. It's fast, simple, and it's also very inexpensive to buy. So some of the cons are the rear wheel will roll. That means that the tire is going to develop wear, and also the chain and sprockets will develop wear. You could remove the chain for free rolling as you're trailering, but that's just a big asshole. And it only works with bikes that go into neutral, and it's not recommended to use shaft-driven bikes or automatics or electrics on here. Reversing is difficult. The bike moves around quite a lot, and also there's an unnerving feeling of the bike tilting as you're going around corners. The first corner you come out of your driveway, you're going to probably regret it, but you get used to it. It's a solid backup method if you're in a pinch or you need a minimal setup. You just got to know its limitations. This one doesn't require a ramp, but you could use a ramp along with it. Another way of trailering a motorcycle is using a pickup truck and the good old truck bed. I have used this system quite a bit, but I was lucky. I had a pickup truck. But if you don't have a pickup truck, you cannot use this system. It's simple enough. You open up the bed. You're going to need a nice long ramp and then haul your bike up. The bad thing about these particular setups is that this truck is very high up, four-wheel drive, it's stiff, so it's high up. It's very difficult to get it up to the bed if you don't have a ramp that's good enough and long enough. If you have a short little ramp, like the one I have for my motorcycle carrier, you are going to have at least two people hold it. You know, you ride it, you kind of push it up, and then the other person hauls it. So not exactly ideal. But if you have something like my Nissan Hardbody that's a two-wheel drive, it's very low to the ground and easy to use and easy to haul your bike. This could work for a lot of people. The easiest way is really the utility trailers. They're the best way, the easiest way, and the least likely of you getting hurt. This one, I've never had issues with bikes falling off, but they require a little bit of a balance. I've even found hills that I could back up and then simply just ride the bike and push it up. There is an alternative to truck bed loading. It's kind of expensive, but it is a nice little option. They make these hydraulic bed motorcycle carriers that you basically use a lever and the ramp kind of comes out and all the way to the floor. And it works kind of like the front wheel hitch carrier, except you just tie the front wheel of any bike on the floor here. You hit a button and it slowly brings the motorcycle onto the bed of the truck. These systems can be quite expensive, so not a lot of people are going to be using them. And also when you have it set up on your truck, you can't really use the truck for any other duty because you're going to be putting stuff on top of it, so it's very limiting. But it is a nice option if you have plenty of money. The utility trailer. This is a classic and probably the safest option for hauling your motorcycle. The utility trailer or the motorcycle specific hauler gives you plenty of space, flexibility, and peace of mind. And the pros are it's very stable and you can haul it for long periods. The pros are it's very stable. It's the most stable method of carrying your motorcycle. You can do long hauls, you can carry bikes that are heavy and light, you can carry multiple bikes, and of course the tires don't roll on the ground, so there's no wear. It's easy to load heavy bikes. This is the easiest way of loading a bike, especially by yourself. And you can haul more than one bike. Most of these trailers come with tie-down points, ramps, and everything. Now, one of the big cons is that this method requires you to register your trailer. That means that you need a plate. That means you need inspection in some states, and in the state that I'm in, you have to register and pay every 2 years. Carrying a trailer usually affects your mileage, and reversing can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to it. The smaller the trailer, the harder it is to back up. And another con is that it takes space in your driveway or garage. So basically, you have to put this somewhere. If you don't have a house, not in a good position, because this takes up the space of a car. So if you have a house with plenty of yard, yeah, you can store it. You can even put it vertically. They do make trailers that are foldable and everything, but they tend to be much more expensive. That is another beauty of the trailer. You can haul it using a small car anywhere. I have gone in so many places using various four-cylinder cars, and I've never had an issue with it. With trailers, you have lights, and you have to hook up the lights for it. So after you put your pin here, that's a safety pin. You also have these cables, and you just put it right into your hitch. A lot of trailers have a built-in tailgate where you can load bikes. This one does not. Go. So now the ramp is ready. Take in your bike. The best thing about a trailer is that you can pretty much do this by yourself. I'll put the other side on here. Notice that my kickstand is down, but really you want it to be up, so make sure you put it up. Usually when I do tie bikes with handlebars, I will, instead of using the axle, I'll put it in the handlebars. But some people prefer axle moving. I towed a couple of bikes to the tail of the Dragon one time, and I went with this girl, and she was very much into not breaking her fork seals. So on the way to the Dragon, we didn't have an incident. The bikes were fine. She was paranoid about not breaking the fork seals. So on the way up from the tail of the dragon, she was giving me a hard time, and I told her, okay, you tie your bike the way you want, and I will tie mine the way I want. So I tied mine, perfect. I tied my friend's, perfect. She tied hers in the trailer, and on the highway, it broke loose, smashed into my friend's other bike, and that's just a warning. Make sure you tie them down fairly well. You can't have too much loose on here, otherwise when the suspension hits on the trailer, it's going to move around. All right, guys, so there you have it. These 4 methods of carrying your motorcycle in various carriers, trailer. You have the pickup truck, you have the front wheel hitch carrier, you also have the motorcycle carrier, and of course, the trusty trailer. Smash that button if this video helped you out. Drop a comment, tell me your go-to bike transport method, and don't forget to subscribe for more motorcycle content and gear tips. Thank you for watching.